Listen, honey, don't worry. It'll be easy. Look. All you have to do is to put one of these in his drink, and he won't feel a thing.
I'm so frightened.
Listen, it's for both of us. We'll be together forever, right?
That's him.
I love you.
Well, that traffic on Fifth Avenue gets worse every day. Oh, what a day. Don't just play around, fix me a drink. You know what, with labor problems and federal taxes, we're gonna have to move to New Jersey. I know you'll be bored. If you want your fancy clothes, that's the way it's gotta be. Drinks on a tray. Can't you ever forget you once worked in a crummy bar? Oh, that's so. How very gauche of me.
Listen, and you listen good, because I've got two things to say to you. One, I never loved you. And two, goodbye.
Good evening and welcome to a new series of Whodunit, or if you prefer it, Doctor Whodunit. Now, you've just seen a murder committed, and as the program continues, we want you to try and solve it. Of course, you at home can't examine the suspects. So to help you, we've invited 4 celebrity guests. For instance, it's obviously going to be useful to you to have a sergeant on leave from a special branch. So here's Patrick Mower. And to make sure that justice is done, who better than the leading lady barrister, Miss Margaret Lockwood. But to balance the scales of their justice, from Colditz to the courtroom, Anthony Valentine. However, should a post-mortem be required, we can even arrange that. The doctor himself, Robin Nedwell. Now, we also have a studio audience, 4 of whom have been selected as a representative panel. Now, both our guests and the audience panel have a card so that they can fill in who done it and the clues that they spotted. Now, what have we seen so far? A wife has put a poisoned pill in her husband's drink, or has she? Just let's have a look at that again.
Listen, and you listen good, because I've got 2 things to say to you. One, I never loved you. And 2, goodbye.
Yeah. That's great. I like it. And cut! That's a great take, everybody, but do another one for luck, eh? Miles, keep it that way. I really believed you died. Joan, you were beautiful, eh? A little more pace, eh? A little more sex appeal.
Oh, darling, can this movie
Jack,
stand?
where are you? Jack, wait! Okay. Hey, how many drinks has our star had, Miss Continuity? Eh?
Shall I fetch a doctor?
I think Miles is dead.
Well, Miles isn't acting. He really is dead. And we're going to rejoin the action as Detective Sergeant Butler cross-examines the suspects. Now, they will describe in flashbacks their actions up to the time of the murder. But remember, the person or persons who done it is going to lie. So don't believe everything you see or hear. I'll give you one clue, however. Watch out for red herrings. Now let us join Sergeant Butler as he looks at the murder glass. Or is that a red herring as well? It's not going to be easy.
Where was it? Where'd you find it?
On the floor by the chair.
Did you check all those over on the table?
Nothing's been touched.
Right. Mr. West? Mr. West?
It's Wies.
Mr. Wiest, this glass, is that the one Mr. Trent drank from?
Yeah, that's right.
You better keep it handy, Williams. Now then, Mr. Wiest, you're the director.
I was the director, yeah. But now that Miles Trent is dead, I've nothing to direct. My own personal investment has just gone right out of the window.
You're totally covered by insurance, sir.
Yeah, I'm insured, all right, but not insured artistically. 12 months preparation is just gone. I've lost a movie.
And a famous movie star, sir. Now, as I understand it, in this film, Mr. Trent was supposed to have been poisoned, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
No, it looks as though he really has been poisoned. What about this pill, sir?
What pill?
The pill that was put in the drink.
Oh, those were just dummy aspirins, bro. Look, I'll tell you something. I don't care what the police surgeon says. It was alcoholic poisoning.
Heavy drinker, sir.
A heavy drinker. He was a lash. You know what? I had a lot of trouble with him just before we started to shoot the scene.
Really?
Yeah, I went into his room. Down. That's great.
We've been doing this hour after hour, day after day, week after week, and I'm absolutely desperate.
Yeah. That's a great swing. Yeah, I like it. Okay, everybody, stand by. Willie, be quiet!
Where's my damn dresser?
Oh, my God, what's going on? Now, can't you stop all this?
What the hell's the matter with you, Willie? You know perfectly well I can't work without a dram. Willie, beginning of my whiskey?
Of course not. No, I don't drink.
I don't know about that.
No vices, no talent.
Give me that bottle. Come on, give me that bottle.
Just what are you on about, my dear fellow?
It's the last drink you have today. You've got too little blood in your alcoholic veins. And I don't want you paralytic like you were yesterday. Willie, wash this glass. Take it back to the restaurant. Come on. Isn't that Willie's typing? Isn't that Miles's typing? You're supposed to be the continuity girl around here. Come on, Judy. Fix it. Okay, everybody, let's go. Oh, that's beautiful. It's so beautiful. But what? Don't be save a day for the shot. Hey, give me the pill a minute, will you, Jack? The backs. Come on. Give me the backs. Look, I want to show you something, sweetheart. Look, come over here. Stand over here. Look. When you put the pill in the glass, like this, make sure that you mask the glass from Miles, see? Okay. And then you put this right in front here, like that. Because you know what happened at the rehearsals?
In front or behind?
No, in front, darling, in front. You can have it behind if you like.
Oh,
but you know what happened, as I'm telling you, with the rehearsals? You didn't mask the glass from Miles.
Well, I'll watch it.
See?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
let's try it again. Come over here, look, sweetheart. I gotta always recap with you. You know you're slow.
You know that.
Look, like that. So, fold up, make sure you cover it. So, okay?
Right.
Good. Well, let's go, everybody. Oh, Jack, I forgot the pills. If I can find them. There. And good luck. Give me a great one, eh, babies? Okay. Come on, let's go for a real shoot. Then, well, we shot the scene.
I see, sir. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, just one thing, sir. Could you let me have the key to the desk drawer, please?
Ah, yeah, sure.
Is this the only key to the drawer, sir?
Yeah. Why? Is it important?
Could be, sir. Very.
Welcome back to Whodunit, where we're trying to solve who killed Miles Trent, the actor, and how. Now, I see that our guests are still scratching their heads somewhat. Of course, I spotted who and how ages ago, but then, of course, it does help when you've got the script written down in front of you, doesn't it? Well, before we rejoin the action, let me recap the story so far. A film is being made. In the plot, a wife and her lover plan to kill her husband with a poisoned pill. The reason he dies so convincingly is that he's really dead. The film's director, Phil Wiest, has revealed that during rehearsal, he demonstrated to the wife how he wanted the pill to be used. The dead actor, Miles Trent, was given a drink by his dresser, Willie Trent, before the filmed scene, and the director took the bottle and locked it in a desk drawer. Sergeant Butler now has the key to the drawer and is about to continue his inquiries.
Oh, Mr. Wiest, have you got some more dummy pills, have you?
I don't know. Perhaps you got any more of those dummy aspirins?
No, Phil, I've got them. I'm Judy Bennett.
The continuity girl, right? Mm-hmm. You better take these to Jackson, will you?
Right. But they're just harmless props.
Yes, probably. Now, Miss Bennett, what was all this about a type-in you forgot?
Oh, Miles changed before lunch and left his type-in with me. I forgot to give it back to him.
Isn't that Willie's type? It's Miles's type in. You're supposed to be the continuity girl around here. Come on, Judy. Fix it. Okay, everybody. Let's go.
It's got to be black shoes with this outfit, Willie, obviously. Where are they?
I couldn't help it. I couldn't find them. I cleaned the brown ones for you. I do have a great deal to do during the course.
I forgot your time.
Oh, don't call me darling. Women. From one moment of magic and they think you're theirs forever. That hurt.
Sorry, Miles. Darling.
You've drawn blood.
Alcohol. More likely.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I spoke to him.
I take it something had been going on between you two?
Had been, yes.
Despite the fact that he's married to the leading lady?
Everyone knows that Joan loathes him. She's madly in love with Jack. But Miles wouldn't give her a divorce.
If he had divorced her, would you have married him?
I might have done, yes. Until I found out that I was just one of many.
I see. Well, thank you, Miss Bennett. Now I think a word with the leading lady.
Sure.
Thank you. Excuse me. Mrs. Trent, I'm sorry to have to ask you all these questions, but...
I know, you're only doing your duty. I played a detective in my last film.
In this one you're playing the lover, is that right, sir?
Well, I play the doctor who was in love with his patient.
Who plans to kill the husband? Only in the script, of course.
Listen, everybody knows that I'm in love with Jack. But he wouldn't kill my husband, and neither would I.
Surely it must be obvious, Sergeant, that Miles was killed either by the drink that was in the decanter or by the pill. Now, I get the pill from Judy Bennett, the continuity girl. I put it in the box, and in the course of the action, I hand the box to Joan. She drops it in the glass. She hands the glass to Miles, who is supposed to die. And, of course, as we all know, he did.
No wonder you play the detective, sir. Let's have a look at this decanter. It's not whiskey.
Brilliant, Sergeant. It's cold tea. They always use cold tea.
Well, it's not very pleasant, sir, but it's harmless. Which leaves us with the pill, doesn't it?
I've already told you. I got that from Judy Bennett.
Yeah, quite so. But according to the director, that he did take it off you, didn't he? To show Mrs. Trent what to do here with the glasses. Then he handed it back to you, and you put it in your right-hand pocket, didn't you, sir?
Which is the pocket I take it out of in the plot.
Yes, sir, I've had a look at the script. But he also told me that when he asked you for the pill, you took it from your left-hand pocket, sir.
I don't think it matters, Sergeant, which pocket I keep it in. As long as I produce it from the correct one during the action of the scene. I could keep it on my head if I wanted to. Look, if you suspect me, why don't you just say so?
Just trying to find out who might have a motive, sir.
Oh, in that case, why don't you question his brother?
His brother, sir?
Willie, his dresser. Miles treated him like a dog.
Is that right, Mrs. Trent?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Willie was an actor too years ago, but Miles stole all the limelight and Willie ended up as his dresser and general runaround.
So his motive would be extreme jealousy.
I see, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, Mrs. Trent, I suppose there's no chance of Willie getting Mr. Trent's part if they start shooting the film again, is there?
No. And they won't start shooting the film again. The film's been a disaster ever since we started shooting 2 months ago. Miles had been giving such a bad performance that Mr. Veast would have lost a fortune if the film had come out.
And now Miles is dead, so Veast loses his money anyway.
On the contrary, sir. He's insured.
No, I want to talk to Paul Steinberg. Yeah, look, Paul, you know we're in a lot of trouble at the moment, and I can't talk.
Mr. Veast.
I'll hang up. The feds are around. I'll bring you back. Okay, bye. Yeah?
This whiskey. Now, it never left your hands from the time you took it from Willie the dresser till you locked it in the drawer here.
Yeah, that's correct.
But I fail to see how anybody could have got drunk with so little gone from the bottle.
Excuse me, sir. That was his second bottle today.
Oh, I see. Well, there's just one question, sir. The glass that this whiskey was poured into, what happened to it?
I washed it and took it back to the restaurant, as Mr. Veast suggested.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a pity you did that, sir. Williams, bring me that other glass back, will you?
Right, Sergeant.
Yeah, I thought so. Harmless tea.
So it must be in that whiskey bottle.
You think so, sir, do you?
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. And it's not tea.
Who says that police don't tipple on the job? Well, now, let's welcome our suspects, shall we? Let's have some applause for the suspects. Now then, panel, before you start questioning the suspects, is there any part of the action that you would like to see played back? Now, to help you jog your memory, you can pick any replay of up to 20 seconds. So, it's ladies first. Miss Lockwood, would you like to see any particular replay?
Yes, I would like to see the replay where the continuity girl was putting the tie pin in.
Where the continuity girl was placing the tie pin
Yes.
in
The tie.
poor unfortunate's tie.
Yes.
Yes,
Tie.
and hurt him and injured him.
Yes.
Yes, indeed, of course. Patrick.
Yes, I would like to see the bit where the director... No, I won't see that bit. I'll see
do,
yes,
please. I mean,
yes, it
feel
is
free.
again the director, Mr. Weist or Vest or whatever his name is, puts the
Veast.
bottle... Veast.
Veast, he is very particular and somewhat
By the way,
irascible.
you called me a sergeant, I'm a detective.
Yes,
chief
I was going
inspector.
to actually say that. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. He's not a sergeant, he is I've got it written all down here, excuse me. hang on. He's Detective Chief Inspector. I do beg your pardon, Detective Chief Inspector, yes.
Where Mr. Weist puts the bottle in the drawer and locks it.
Let's have a little recap on that. We were interrupted, were we not?
Where the director puts the bottle of whiskey into the drawer and locks it.
Right. That's all?
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. Anthony Valentine, what would you like to see again?
I'd like to see that magical moment of confusion when the wife originally puts the pill in the glass.
Any specific moment? Just that one little moment?
I'd like to see her do that and then take the tray of glasses out, if that's possible.
I think that would be possible.
Thank you very much.
I hope
To see the whole of the second act.
Yes, can I have the last
You wouldn't like the whole show running?
Yes, yes, very much.
Well, of course. You've probably got plenty of time. You don't mind sticking around for an hour or two? No, I'm sure we can manage it. Dr. Nedwell, what would you like?
Sir.
You're right.
I'd like to see when Sergeant Butler was talking to Mr. Wiest about Mr. Wiest's financial connections with the making of this movie. Is that possible?
Absolutely possible.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Right. Now, it'll take a couple of minutes to get these replays ready. So while we're waiting, let's start off with one question each. Right. So let's go straight down the line, shall we? Patrick, a question.
I'd like to ask Jack Copeland, the lover, who actually gave you the pills before the fatal take?
Well, no one actually gives them to me. What I do is I go along to the prop table, and on this particular occasion in this studio, Judy Bennett was responsible on this particular day, and I pick it up from there. I pick the box up.
So really, she
is
responsible. She gives them to you. In fact, she tells you where they are.
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
And then from then on, I just handle it. It's my own responsibility. I handle it my own way.
Yes.
And beautifully too.
Thank you.
Beautifully handled. Yes. Any other questions?
No, that's fine. Thank you. On ahead.
Miss Lockwood, have you a question?
I also thought we were only allowed one question each, but...
Well, I'm being very generous tonight.
I would like to ask Mr. Copeland how long he'd been having this affair with the dead man's wife.
Well, since the last film we did together, which was in fact more or less the same setup as you've seen today, that is, it was a film of Phil's, Phil Wiest, and the star setup was pretty much the same. That's the first time that we'd met. Though I'd worked for Phil before that, and I'd also worked with her late husband. Incidentally, he was a very good friend of mine.
Was he? And were you prepared to marry the lady in the event of his death?
That is a question that hasn't arisen yet. We haven't yet had a funeral.
Yes.
But there had never been any question of a divorce, for instance.
It hasn't been mentioned yet. It was something that Miles himself didn't want to bring up. He thought it would bring the wrong kind of publicity at this stage.
Miles spoke about it many times. And we were going to get it.
I don't think we ought to get too involved. At this particular moment, we have now the first of the replays ready to play for you, which is Anthony Valentine's. And this was where Joan puts the pill in the glass.
You know what, with labor problems and federal taxes, we're going to have to move to New Jersey. I know you'll be bored. If you want your fancy clothes, that's the way it's got to be. Drinks on a tray. Can't you ever forget you once worked in a crummy bar?
Anthony Valentine,
well,
a question.
I'm awfully glad I asked for that. That's helped enormously. It's all solved now.
Well, ask a silly question, you get a silly answer.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Mr. Wiest another silly question. When the leading man had the drink in the quick change room.
Yeah.
And you said to the dresser, take the glass to the restaurant.
Oh, yeah?
Why? Why take it to the restaurant? Why make a trip, presumably of 3 or 4 blocks, to take back one dirty glass?
If you worked on my set, you'd know what it was with the glass. Everybody was taking the glasses from the restaurant. Miles was a particular one. He liked great crystal, beautiful crystal. Everywhere were glasses, so I asked specially. I was asked specially, Mr. Whatever you do, Mr. Wiest, please make sure that the glasses are brought back to the restaurant. Otherwise, you're going to have a big bill to pay, and I don't want that sort of problem. That's why I told him to take it back to the
I think I should tell you that Mr. Wiest had very good training in the film business. He worked with the Danzigers for many years. So, you know, props were a little scarce.
They were very fine people. Yes. Great artists. I had a great training there.
You did, indeed, yes.
Sure.
Didn't we all? Yes.
Well, I don't know about your work there, but I had great work. But this is irrelevant. The relevant thing, is that an answer for you? Because I hope I made myself clear.
Yes, it's probably the most unconvincing answer I've ever heard, but I don't think it helps me too much, actually. Can
Well,
I ask another question?
Yes, of course, please.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Miss Bennett. I believe your affair that you had with the leading man, did he not say specifically that it was a one-off, if I dare use that expression? It only happened just the once?
That's what he would say, isn't it?
No, I don't think he said it was a one-off, was it? I mean, it could have been a sort of
No.
10-off.
So then this affair...
It was a short affair that didn't last all
short
that long.
and not very sweet.
So the affair had been going on for some time? You'd known each other for some time?
Oh, a long time. But the affair was not long.
Short.
Just for the duration
Not
of
happy.
the film you were working on?
Yes.
Or did it start before that particular movie?
I don't think you need answer
Very
that
well.
question. I don't think it's relevant.
I don't think it is either.
No, I don't think it's relevant.
Oh, pity about it. Oh, well, never mind.
The lurid.
Right, we're ready for the next replay. The next replay is for Robin Nedwell. He wants to see again where Wiest was talking about his financial involvement.
Now then, Mr. Wiest, you're the director.
I was the director, yeah. But now that Miles Trent is dead, I've nothing to direct. My own personal investment has just gone right out of the window.
You're totally covered by insurance, sir.
Yeah, I'm insured, all right, but not insured artistically. 12 months preparation is just gone. I've lost the movie.
And a famous movie star, sir. Now.
Right?
Right.
A question from you, Mr. Nedwell.
I'd like to ask Mr. Wiest if they'd worked before together.
Mr. Wiest, please.
Have we worked before together?
No, if you've worked together with the late deceased before, and you knew his drinking habits, you called him a lush, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
Why invest your own money in a film that you know you're going to have trouble making?
Why? Because even though he was a great drinker, you should understand this. He had genius. Genius.
Could I ask Miss Harper, it strikes me as rather strange that if he's been having an affair, or was having affairs for some time, and your own personal affair had gone on for some time, why is it that you never actually did get divorced? Was it commercial reasons?
Well, we had only just got round to actually talking about getting a divorce.
After
but...
so long?
Oh, it wasn't all that long. I think Jack told you that it only had started quite recently. I mean,
Yes.
about
But you were aware of his
6
affairs
months.
as well?
Had I not been married to him for 7 years?
Yes.
I didn't know it?
There's a very big
Impossible.
difference between our love affair, if I might call it that, and his affairs, which were promiscuous,
Anyway,
casual
Jack,
affairs.
now listen,
Quite so,
he
quite
had said
so.
he was
Which-
going to give me a divorce.
Which hurt
But
Joan
the
very
front
much.
office asked us to keep it quiet.
The front
because-
office did?
Right, because it was bad
Thank you.
publicity for the film.
Right,
That's fine.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you here, but we have another replay ready for Patrick Mower. He wants to see where Wiest locks the bottle in the drawer.
Is that Willie's typing? Is that Miles's typing? You're supposed to be the continuity girl around here. Come on, Judy. Fix it. Okay. Okay, everybody, let's go. Oh, that's beautiful. It's so beautiful, but why don't we save it?
Right, we have time for one question. Patrick, do you have a question to ask?
Yes, Judy. What was that you hurriedly scuffed into the drawer then, off the top of that desk?
My pencils.
Your pencil?
My pencils and pens.
What
They're
did you
always
think
being
it
nicked
was?
off the top of my desk.
Sounded very metallic.
It was a metallic
Why
pencil.
did you do it so furtively?
Furtively?
Well, why were you in such a hurry, a scurry? What's the word?
Because I knew I was going to get shouted at and that I couldn't wear that more.
I never shouted at you.
You didn't shout at me, the other one did, though.
People are inclined to get irritated when people leave metallic pencils lying around on tables. Well, we now have the last replay, which is Margaret Lockwood's. She wants to see where Judy Bennett pricked Miles with the tie pin.
Not that I couldn't find them. I cleaned the brown ones for you. I do have a great deal to do during the course.
Oh, don't call me darling. Women. From one moment of magic and they think you're theirs forever. That hurt.
Sorry, Miles. Darling.
You drawn blood?
Alcohol, more likely.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I spoke.
Well, there we are. Are you any the wiser, any of you? No, I thought not. Good. Right. Well, there are no more questions, and I'm afraid that'll have to be the last question as the time is up. So now I want the panel to write down who done it and as many clues as they can think of. Now, this applies to our audience panel as well, because one of you will be winning a prize. Now, remember, the guilty party could be more than one person, but that's not necessarily a clue. It could be just a piece of useless information. Now, after the break, we're going to show you at home who done it and how it was done. Now, there is one piece of good news. Due to Miles's death, the film they were all trying to make will never appear at your local cinema. See you in a couple of minutes. Well, hello again. I have the cards here filled in by our 4 experts, and I'll attempt to decipher what they've written in a moment. But first, we have a winner from our audience panel. And the winner is Mr. Gerald Gregory Southall from 46 Luton Road, Chorlton in Luton. Congratulations. Hi, congratulations once again, and you win this magnificent Thames TV trophy with magnifying glass, who done it written on it, and the deerstalker hat and bloodhound followed by the next post. Right, now let's see if our panel is as good as that. Now, I've got their cards here, so they can't change their minds. Not that I'd accuse them of that, yet. But let's first find out who you think did it, without revealing any clues. So, Patrick, who do you think did it?
No clues.
Oh, yes, reveal a clue. Yes, go on.
You want a clue? Well, I think that it's sex again. Let's read its ugly head. Very attractive head, actually. I think it's Jack and Joan. I think that they've got all the motives, and I think that Jack's got plenty of possibility to change over the pills. He also said that he didn't he collected the pills from Judy, whereas in fact I believe Mr. Weiss, or Vest, our director, when he said that in fact he gave the pills to Jack after every, when he collected them. We saw Mr. Vest put the pills into his pocket.
Wiest.
Wiest, I'm terribly sorry. And Jack said he got them from Judy. And at the end, when Joan, beautiful Joan, saw the detective having a drink from the whiskey, she went, like that, of a guilty woman, I'm afraid.
Yes, I did tell you there were a few red herrings around the place. Miss Lockwood.
Well, now, 2 things worried me a bit. First, I would like to have known what the poison was. Secondly, I would like to have known whether the poison was in the pills. We were never told that. And thirdly, I always go for the person who has the least motive. And it seems to me there were an abundance of motives to kill the man who was killed. The director had a motive. That was to do with the insurance, collecting a large insurance on the picture. The continuity girl was a bit miffed because, you know, the sort of dotty affair that was going on there. The wife was fed up. The brother, the wardrobe man, the brother who'd been given second fiddle to play all these years. Indeed. And, of course, there was the lover, Mr. Copeland. But it seemed to me that supposing the wrong person had been killed, and he was never meant to be killed, and it was the wife who should have been killed, and in the business of taking the tray and swiveling it round, the wrong person got the wrong drink, if you see.
Yes. So you think it was...
Well, I still plump for Mr. Copeland.
Mr. Copeland.
I'm not absolutely certain why he wanted...
Thank you.
I think the wrong person died.
Thank you very much indeed. Anthony Valentine?
Yes, well,
who did you think did it?
I think it has to be Judy Bennett.
Judy Bennett, and why?
Well, I'm a bit short on clues.
I noticed, yes.
Yes. But one thing struck me very strongly. Being in the profession myself, I couldn't really imagine either of the two actors knocking off the leading man, because it would be instant unemployment for everyone.
And the second?
The motive for the director, Philip Wiest, was so strong, I thought that had to be too obvious. And like Patrick, yes, sex again, ugly head, lovely head. And all that business with a type-in till she sucked it, and then I thought, oh, that's blown that right out.
That's blown that, indeed.
But
Thank
I
you very
think
much
it's her.
indeed. Robin Nedwell.
Well, I'm of the same opinion. And I must say, I had down possible poisoned pin, because I couldn't remember which way around she put it. So, no, Mr. Wiest worried me for some time. I still think a man who trusts a lush that much. No, it doesn't strike me as right. But I'm afraid there was that. I mean, she said she's the continuity lady, and she said she didn't know where the pills were. Now, that seems to defy its own purpose for me. Being a continuity lady, you should know where it is. It's your job. But you are inefficient there, I must admit.
Thank you very much indeed, Robin Nedwell. All right, well, that's their opinion. And somewhat extraordinary they were, too. So, will the real whodunit reveal yourself in the nicest possible way? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was Willie Trent himself. Not exactly the best example of fraternal love, but there you are. Well, it's very embarrassing, but of course none of you got it right. So what we're going to do is we're going to tide the £50 over to next week, if that suits you, because that's what's going to happen. Now, of course, it was a slightly tricky one to start the series with, because, of course, there was only one clue. And so that you viewers can check exactly how it was done, let's reenact on film the actual murder. Note the whiskey level with the top of the label. Miles poured himself a large drink and passed the bottle back to Willie, who puts it in his pocket. Phil Wiest asks for the bottle, and Willie produces one from his pocket. But it couldn't have been the same bottle. When Sergeant Butler examined it, the level was the same as before Miles took his large drink. Conclusion, Willie switched the bottles. The only difference was in the levels. Everything else was a red herring. You see, it's simple when you know how. Now, next week, we're going to join a happy pools winner, plus her friends, on board an intercity dining car. She drops dead in the middle of a meal, but British Rail had nothing to do with it. So until next week, at the same time, it's good night.